Dublin, Ireland was first settled by the Vikings more than 1100 years ago. By the mid-18th century, Dublin had grown to become the second largest city in the British Empire. Today, Dublin has reclaimed its stature as a truly sophisticated world-class city. And in spite of the worldwide economic recession that hit Ireland just as hard as London or the United States, the city retains its vibrant and bustling persona. I'm your host, travel correspondent Tom Wilmer. Come along with us to Ireland, where we join Sam Johnston from the Dublin Tourism Office for a stroll through the heart of historic Dublin City. This is your host, Tom Wilmer, reporting from Dublin, Ireland. We're here with
Sam Johnston from Dublin Tourism.
All right, Sam, and what do you do with Dublin Tourism? What's your position?
My position is Leisure Tourism Manager, and the leisure tourism, I suppose, to put it simply, is what you and I do for holidays. It's everything except those guys who come for conferences and for meetings and incentives, so it's general vacation.
Let's take a little walk through town, and you can tell us a bit about some of the fun things to do and see here.
Perfect. Well, we've just left the Dublin Tourism Centre, which is the main tourist office in the city. We're very lucky in that we're based in an old church which is around 150 years old. We've been based in there for the last 12 or 13 years. It's a beautiful iconic building where you can come and do all your bookings for your day trips, for your tours, for your accommodation, etc. So we've just left there and we're walking down towards, I suppose, three very famous parts of the city. We have the Molly Malone statue. Everybody knows the song about Molly Malone and her cockles and her mussels. And then behind Molly Malone we'll see Trinity College, one of the most famous universities in the world, home to the very famous Book of Kells, an ancient illustrated manuscript.
That's quite old, isn't it?
It is actually. It was actually set up by the British royal family. One of the reasons behind the setup of it was to advance Protestantism within Ireland, and it was only at that time Protestants who were allowed in. We're well past that nowadays, and they welcome anybody from all over the world to Trinity. So,
well, going back to those days for a moment, there's a word that's universal around the world, and it's when you say beyond the pale.
Indeed,
and
yes.
this is where beyond the pale came from.
The pale is, I suppose, more or less right in the city centre, and the pale actually is a fence which would have surrounded an original settlement, and those who weren't welcomed within, I suppose, the main element of a town or a village or a settlement were sent outside the fence, and so they were beyond the pale, and nobody wanted anything to do with them then. But yeah, we do, and we actually celebrate it. There's a pub up close to Christchurch Cathedral called the Pale. It's something that I suppose rolls off the tongue here, and maybe because it's where it started, nobody thinks about it too much. But yeah, it's incredible how far around the world it has gone. So yeah, we're just leaving Trinity College in the background. We're now walking up Grafton Street, which is the most famous shopping street here in Dublin. So. And
you might point out that there are no vehicles on Grafton Street.
Absolutely not, no. You can do your deliveries first thing in the morning, and that's it. It's completely pedestrianised.
And what day of the week is it today?
Today is Friday.
Friday, and it looks like a Saturday. I mean, it's an incredible number of people in the middle of the day who are walking and shopping. And
Grafton Street is an incredibly busy retail street. I think some of the stats say that it's probably as busy, if not busier, than Oxford Street in London, which anybody that goes to Oxford Street in London knows that it's a very, very busy retail street. So this would be, say, one of our main retail areas. And yes, it is. It's much more pleasant without vehicles on it, and it also allows us, we walk up, we'll probably see some of the buskers and the street artists as well that are, you usually probably find 3, 4, maybe even more on, especially on days like this when the sun is shining.
I just cannot believe today, this is one of the most stunningly beautiful days anywhere in the world.
This is pretty tropical for Dublin, so it is, but yeah, it's gorgeous. Considering what the forecast had told us it was going to be as well. So.
And that's another thing about Ireland and the South especially that a lot of people don't know, is that there is this semi-tropical characteristic to Ireland. I understand you have palm trees in Dublin.
We do indeed, actually, yeah. Again, something that we probably don't pay as much attention to as we should, because they're just there and they always have been. But yeah, I'm not sure why. Certainly, I know in the southwest of Ireland you get a lot more palm trees, and they blame that on the they credit that as opposed to blame it to the Gulf Stream. But yeah, we have them, and I've never seen anybody having any problems growing them, so it's obviously something in the climate or in the soil, or maybe it's the Guinness or the whiskey that we feed them, I don't know.
There you go. Ah, yes, that's my favorite subject too, is Guinness. This is world headquarters. The brewery is right here, isn't it?
It is indeed, yeah. St James's Gate is home to Guinness and has been since 1759, so this is the 250th anniversary of Guinness. And to celebrate, they have a number of events planned. They have international artists, they have international stars coming into Dublin on. It's all going to be centred around the 24th of September, which they're naming Arthur's Day, and Guinness are going to celebrate this from now on. One side of it is obviously the Guinness, the stout that he brewed. Another element of it is going to be celebrating the philanthropy side of the Guinness family, and they have launched a new scheme to raise more money. I think €5 million they're looking for the Arthur Guinness Foundation.
So there's still a Guinness family.
Yeah, there is still a Guinness family. Now it's an international company that owns Guinness these days, but yeah, I mean the Guinness family are still there.
This is a question that needs some expertise. I'm in the west of Ireland, and people say, oh, well, we love Guinness, but it's even better at the factory. In the north, they say the same thing. Is this true?
I would have to say yes, or I would have to say you have to go there and find out for yourself. Yeah, without doubt, I think it's worth going to the Guinness Storehouse to find out. It's a fantastic visitor attraction. It's actually the most popular visitor attraction in Ireland. You get told the history of it, you see the lease that Arthur Guinness signed, and you finish it off up at the top of the brewery in the Gravity Bar, looking out the stunning views across the whole of Dublin City and Dublin County, right to the Dublin Mountains in the south. You get your free pint of Guinness there, so you can make your own mind up, but I would say it's worth travelling just to find out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now we've had our 2 pints of Guinness. So how do we finish off the day in Dublin?
Some people might send you for a whiskey chaser to the old Jameson distillery. I suppose chase your Guinness with a dram if you want. What do you want to do at the end of the day? Michelin star restaurants, we have local cuisine, we have international cuisine. Restaurant prices, you can go out, walk along the street, you'll see special menus, early birds, set dinners. It's incredible the deals that are out there to eat. So you can go out, you have a dinner, go to theatre afterwards perhaps.
Overview, what it might cost to come here for a holiday to Dublin, hotel and meals.
Hotels at the minute, there are some hotels that if you're on early enough and you're booking online, you will get a hotel room per person, room only, from €20 per night for 3-star, good standard.
Wow.
And you can stay in a junior suite for under €100 per night if you want. It's one thing without doubt is worth doing these days is shopping around. Tour operators, they're doing fantastic deals at the minute with air inclusive. I'm talking to some of the operators and they're maybe doing, car land package with hotels for 4 or 5 nights, air as well from the East Coast for $4.99 or $5.99 plus tax.
Wow.
It really is worth hunting on the internet because there is definitely value to be found. Obviously, once you're in a city like Dublin, you want to get out, see the sights, find out a bit more about its history. And we have museums, cathedrals, churches, galleries in abundance. And one of the great things is a lot of them are actually free of charge to get into. The national museums, they're all free to get into.
That is so rare.
It's very rare, and the product that they deliver is just incredible. They continually change their exhibitions. They bring new touring exhibitions in. They're not stale.
And then there's the legendary Dublin Castle.
The grounds of Dublin Castle is home of the old Dublin, which is Irish for black pool, which is actually where Dublin gets its name, right in the city centre. Close by Christ Church Cathedral, St Patrick's Cathedral, great historic places to go and visit.
All right, thank you, Sam.
You're very welcome. Thanks, Tom.
We've been speaking with Sam Johnston with the Dublin Tourism Office in Dublin, Ireland. This is your host, Tom Wilmer, reporting for National Public Radio affiliate KCBX and KCBX HD1 serving San Luis Obispo and KSBX serving Santa Barbara County. For further information about Dublin tourism, log on to www.visitdublin.com.